Hey guys, just a flash recording, heading off sailing in 2 days, so I'll be away from the garden, so I wanted to leave a little log, a little diary of what's happening here in the garden, for those of you who like to know. I'm going to aim you down at the garden here, and here you can see we have the container garden happening here. This is where we started, like this, and then I moved into these rows, which is our new expansion, and you can maybe see that there's a bit of a fence around it. And it's quite biodiverse there. We also have peppers. I don't know if we'll be able to see the peppers. There they are, all the way over there. They're doing quite well. The beans are huge. We can't really see them from here, but they're almost the size of my forearm in length, though they're hidden drooping down there. And they're ready to harvest, at least some of them. And so is some of the lettuce under the eggplant there. So we'll have our first salad today from the garden. Just before almost 3 months, almost the 3 month mark now from the day of planting. So we have all kinds of diversity here. Here we have arugula. Here we have combinations of eggplant, and underneath is a little bit of salad. I just planted late. This is a pepper plant I left to pretty much die. Sorry, bean plant I left to pretty much die to see what it would do. These are bean plants with some, finally today, for the first time, we have a blossoming of our flowers from the marigolds, and just in front of it there is potato plants. They're sticking out of the ground, so I'll let them grow a little bit more until, I don't know what point I'll take them out, but we see. Maybe when they start breaking ground there. And I don't know everything about these plants yet. One thing I don't know is if they die and I have to plant them again with the seeds, but I'll certainly let some of the beans go past the time to harvest and to go into seed. And then here we have some kale that's pretty much ready to start picking at. We have marigolds that still haven't came up, and more lettuce, and then some arugula on the outside edge. And then over here, as we mentioned, beautiful eggplants. If I got closer, I could show you the flowers and how they're blooming so beautifully, and also that under each flower, and many of them is starting to grow the eggplant. So I'm quite excited to see what happens next there. They'll all be gone for 2 months, so this will be updated by my girlfriend or neighbor. And here we've planted pumpkins and potatoes and garlic and one other thing, I forget what it may have been. Might have been lettuce. But the pumpkins are only 4 days old, and look at them shoot up already. They're going crazy. And then over this side, we have, another sorts of pumpkins, but those seeds haven't came up yet. So we'll see what happens over there. And also I've planted a bunch of baby breath to attract all the butterflies and everything. And then over here in this row, we've started to see some sprouting, but without going down and looking at the stick, I forget what's there, but I believe it's pepper plants that's mostly there, and some marigolds. I believe it's pepper plants and marigolds. Over here, there's also a little bit of discrepancy. This row I sort of lost my mind moving quickly and trying to show my girlfriend and have her help for fun while we were going through there, so I kind of lost my order there a little bit. But I think that the stick is accurate, which I'd have to go down and read again. However, one way or another, we have a lot of diversity here. I forget what's being planted over there. But over here, in this row, right here, we're quite happy to see that the cucumbers are bursting out of the ground, and we're not sure by the package, it's written in Thai, if they're climbers or bushes. So they look to me like climbers, because I've watched the eggplants grow, and they just sort of have 2 or sometimes 3, depending on the style. 2 or 3 little leaves, and then they just start growing up, real thin, and then they start to grow other stuff that grabs and climbs and everything. Whereas the bush beans, which is over here, these guys have little like sprouts coming off the sides, even in their youth, and they start to leaf and even grow little pods for flowers and stuff very young. And that's not happening with these. These are bush beans, not climbing beans, and these are cucumbers, but they look to me like they're the climbing type. So we went ahead and put some bamboo sticks down now, because if they are climbers, you don't want to stick the sticks in later and cut the roots. And then I'm very happy finally to see that over here and over here we have success on our first sets of tomato seeds. We've put a bunch of tomato seeds in, and it was the rainy season, and I think they were just simply getting too much water and not enough sun. So those are growing now, and also basil there. So it's looking good. And when we planted the cucumbers, we had a lot of extras, and such was also true with the eggplants. So we took a lot of the little babies and we put them all around the fence, going all around here, going all around here and over here. So climbing this steel fence, we'll soon have all this beautiful cucumber and cucumber and eggplant. So that will be quite cool to see. And you can see little patches of black and sort of brown here. These are the brown, which I took some earth from underneath the tree here, because they make great earth underneath the tree. It's like all this is sand, and you dig underneath the tree and you get this beautiful system. This is why sometimes in permaculture, like the farm Pun Pun, they bought all the space and they left all the weeds, and everybody thought he was crazy because they've been cutting the weeds down all the time. But it creates roots, nutrients, it takes nitrogen sometimes from the air and puts it into the soil and all this. So you build your soil with these trees, and the trees have these great soils. So we pulled some up and sort of used it just as little planting pot sort of soil over there. So there's some store-bought black stuff, and they have in them a papaya seed that is known to actually fruit and to make beautiful red, not green papaya. Sometimes if you just plant whatever seed you find, you end up coming with fruitless papaya, or papaya that doesn't grow well in this area, or stuff that never turns quite ripe. So I'm hoping to have some good luck with these. A friend gave to me. I was lucky to find those. She also gave me the basil, so that was awesome. Also, we have sunflowers. So we've planted probably about 10 around here. So when those shoot up and the cucumbers start climbing and the eggplants start climbing and some more of the flowers go down here and all these are bushing up, it'll be quite cool. I did set up one very eventually ugly tower. I had like sort of a terrace built where the vines could climb and it could make shade, and I actually had it so that it was all bamboo with exception of one plastic PVC pipe here, and then it rolled downhill watering everything, and it worked about 50%, which isn't enough to make it worth it, considering also it was very ugly. So I'll do it again quite with much more time, perfection, elegance, and effectivity. So I'll give that another shot a little later down the road so that some of these things can keep climbing overhead, and my idea is to maybe expand this a little more in some way. Perhaps even make some space here in the middle and make it like a seated area where on top we can have the terrace and things will be climbing the terrace, making shade, and you can sit underneath. Maybe we'll even get a little landscapey and make some beautiful aquaponics with a sort of zero energy valve that you can make with some PVC or steel, but probably I'll make it with PVC, that produces a filter that never requires energy, solar or otherwise. So in that way we can have some fish, maybe even start some somewhat natural, in the sense that we're not using energy, aquaponics, and put some fish in there so it's something beautiful to look at, start some lotus flowers and other plants. So that's sort of bigger dreams. But I will tell you that these here, I made these bins in a very long, laborious manner. I took sand from here, I took clay from a cliffside, and that was the most intensive part. That was a pain in the butt. I put all of these in my little sidecar, which is like, if you're not familiar with Thailand, it's a motorbike with a huge cart on the side of it. So I had taken all this clay, which is very heavy, 2 different times, mixed 1 part sand, 1 part clay, 1 part store-bought black soil with some nutrients, and a little bit of coconut shells for aeration. That took a long time, a lot of effort. It took about 5 times as long as it took to make all this and the fence. I will say that this saved my butt during the flood season. I'm the only one out of all the people in the farms that I've seen here, or not that this is a farm, but who have grown here, that have survived the floods. So in this way, I'm very happy I had these, and now they sort of can provide nursery plants and stuff for the others. But in the long term and outside of the flood season here in Thailand, all these are much more efficient, and the soil is enough. I just mixed half sand, half store-bought black stuff, and then put a fine layer of black on top. And I took about 15 bags to make all this, so that cost me 100 baht, which is about $3 per 5 bags. So I spent $9 only on earth. Altogether, this whole project is about around $170 so far. 138 of that exists within pretty much the containers, sadly enough. Not the containers themselves, but all of the stuff that was put into preparing it. But for about $300, right now we're up to just under $200, but I estimate for about $300, following more this system, I can expand into in between my neighbor's house and my own, which he's happy to have, and I think my goal will be closer of being able to provide enough food to live on. We have a lot of biodiversity in here. There's all kinds of fruits and vegetables and beautiful things and things to attract and repel the right insects and things like that. So it's very much still a work in progress and an experiment, but it is always giving, even within the learning curve. And it's been a beautiful process, and I'm only just less than 3 months into it. So I'm leaving all these behind. I've planted new seeds. I go sailing for 2 months. My family and friends here will take over, and hopefully I'll get some cool updates from them. And I'll update you again when I come back, and we'll keep sharing what we have to share here. Hope that write some comments if you would like to tell me something or share some good ideas, or if you like to see this sort of thing. I'd like to know that people are watching and enjoying and maybe getting somehow inspired to do something of their own. I'd love to see your progress if you do something. And let's share. Have a blessed day. Talk to you soon.